Hello friends, welcome to the class. In this video, we are going to look for figure it out section for the chapter a square and a cube. And this is a second figure it out section, which is based on the cube and the cube root. So this figure it out section has 5 questions. So we'll solve these questions one by one. And this figure it out section is available on page number 16 and 17 in your textbook. The first question is find the cube root of 27,000 and 10648. So let's solve one by one. So before we find the cube root, let's factorize 27,000. So let's break 27,000 as 27 into 1000. And when you further make as a perfect cube, 27 is a 3 cube and 1000 is a 10 cube. So we have 27,000 in the form of a perfect cube, which is 3 cube and the 10 cube. So if you find the cube root of 27,000, it's cube root of 3 cube and the 10 cube. So when it says cube root, 3 will get cancelled. So the answer will be 3 and 10. So 3 into 10 is 30. So 27,000 is a cube root of 30. What it means is 3 into 3 into 3, 10 into 10 into 10. Okay. So that's the first question. Let's try to solve the second one, 10648. So as I said, we have to break. So 10648. So let's try to use 8 because 8 is a perfect cube. It's a cube of 2. So whenever we divide, we should try to use a perfect cube number to that way it becomes easy to find the answer. So here I have tried with 8. So when I divide by 8, it's 1331 into 8. So we have this 1331 into 8. Now we'll leave 8 as it is and we'll further divide 1331. So 1331 is, now we have to divide 1331, and when we break it, it comes as 11 into 121. Okay, and 11 into 121 is 1331, and then when we further divide 21, we get 11 into 11. So if you, after the factorization method, 10648 is 11 into 11 into 11 and 8. So 11 into 11 into 11 is 11 cube and 8 is a 2 cube. 2. So similar to the first one, we got the value which is in the form of cube, and then if you do the perfect cube of this number, it will be cube root of 11 cube and the 2 cube, and 3 will get cancelled when we remove the cube root sign, and it will be 11 into 2. So the answer is 22. Okay, the second question is what number you will multiply by with 1323 to make it a cube number. So 1323 is not a cube number. We have to multiply this number by any of the number, which could be 2, 3, 4, 5 or anything, and the final number will become the cube number. So let's see how we can do that. So let's factorize 1323. So if you start factorizing this number, let's divide by 3. So you get 441 into 3. Further 441 is 21 square. So 21 into 21 into 3. And if you further divide, 21 is 7 into 3. This again 7 into 3. So it's 7 into 3 into 7 into 3 into 3. So if you put in the form of cube and square, we get 7 square and 3 cube. Because we are talking about the cube number, we already have 3 cube and this is 7 square. What it means is if you want to make this number as cube, you have to multiply with 7 now. So the number that needs to be multiplied to make 1323 as a cube number should be 7. So if you multiply 1323 with 7, it will be 7 cube and 3 cube. So the answer for this question will be 7. So let's put it this way, multiply 7 on both the sides. So 1323 into 7 is 7 cube into 3 cube. So the answer is 7 for this. Okay, so the third question is there are 5 statements given and we have to explain if it is true or false along with the reason. So let's do this one by one. Okay, so I have created a table for this. So let's look at the table. The first statement is the cube of any odd number is even. This statement is false, and the reason for that is the cube of any odd number is always odd. So this is the rule, the cube of any odd number is always odd, and because of this, the statement is false. The second is there is no perfect cube that ends with 8. So in this case, let's take a look. Uh, 8 is a perfect cube of 2. So this answer is false because uh, we have 8 for the cube of 2. The third is the cube of a 2-digit number may be a 3-digit number. So the cube of 2-digit number, so let's try to find which is the smallest number of 2-digit, which is 10. And cube of 10 is 1000, which is 4-digit. What it means is even the smallest 2-digit number has 4-digit of the number when we find the cube, and they are saying it may be a 3-digit. So there's no cube of a 2-digit number can be a 3-digit. So that is why the statement is false. The fourth statement is the cube of a 2-digit number may have 7 or more. What it means is 7, 8, 9, 10, any number it can be. That is what the statement means. So let's find the cube of biggest 2-digit number. The biggest 2-digit number is 99. And if you find the cube of biggest 2-digit number 99, we get 970299, which is a 6-digit number. And they're saying the cube of 2-digit number may be 7 or more. So in any case, it cannot be more than 6. That is why this statement is false. The cube number have an odd number of factor. So let's see, the perfect squares have an odd number of factors, but the cube have even number of factors. That's a rule. So based on this rule, the cube number have an odd number of factor is false because it will always have an even number of factors. So this is how all 5 statements are false, and the reasons are mentioned over here. Okay, the question number 4 is, you are told that 1331 is a perfect cube. Can you guess without factorization what is its cube root? And similarly, guess the roots of 4913, 12167 and 3278. So this is simple. This looks difficult, but there's a table which I'm going to explain, and based on that you can pick any number and explain what the cube root of that number could be. Okay, so let's look at this table. Let's understand this table. So you just have to remember the cube of first 10 numbers. Okay, so cube of 1 is 1, cube of 2 is 8, cube of 3 is 27, and so on. And similarly, this is easy. Cube of 10, 20, 30, and 40. This is easy to find, right? So if you look at this table, you can see the unit digit is not repeating anywhere. Okay, so 1 is cube of 1, 8 is not repeating anywhere. So if you get anywhere 8, it's a cube of 2. Similarly, 7 is not repeating anywhere, 4 is not repeating anywhere, 5 is not repeating anywhere. So the unit digit is unique between 1 and 10 cube. Okay, so this is what we need to remember. So we have to remember this particular table. Okay, and then this is something we can find cube of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 on the fly because that's simple. Okay, now 1331. So 1331, they're saying you are told 1331 is a perfect cube. So let's see what the cube of what. So 1331 is falling between 1000 and 8000. Okay, so what it means is its cube value is going to be between 11 and 19. Okay, unit digit is 1. So unit digit is 1, and let's try to see where the unit digit matches. So it matches here. So what it means is the answer is going to be 11 over here. Okay, similarly, let's take a look the next option, 4913 is falling between 1000 and 8000. What it means is the cube root is going to be between 11 and 19. The unit digit is 3. Let's try to see where the unit digit is. It's 3 here, which is ending with 7. So the answer has to be 17 here. Okay, next is 12167. It's 12,000. So 12,000 is falling between 8,000 and 27,000. So the answer is going to be between 21 and 29. Unit digit is 7. So let's try to find where the 7 falls. It's 7 is 3. So its answer is going to be 23. Here 32,000 is falling between 27,000 and 64,000. so it's going to be more than 30, and the unit digit is 8. So here, if you look at the unit digit 8, it's 2. So it has to be more than 30 is 32. So this is how if you have this, if you know this table, and doesn't matter how big the number is, it's really easy to find the cube root of that particular number. Okay, now the last question of this figure it out section. Which of the following is greatest? Explain the reasoning. Okay, so there are four options. So we have to solve this. So if you see, the first option is 67 cube minus 66 cube. It is in the form of a cube minus b cube. The second one is also in the form of a cube minus b cube. The third and fourth is in the form of a square minus b square. So we have to use the formula of a cube minus b cube and a square minus b square, do the comparison, and then give the answer. Okay, so let's recall the formula. A cube minus b cube is equal to a minus b, a square plus ab plus b square, and in the other form we can also write a minus b whole cube plus 3ab into a minus b, and this will be easy to use this because here the minus term is going to make this number as 1 and easy calculation. And similarly, a square minus b square is a minus b into a plus b. So let's try to solve the first one and the third one, and then similarly you can do second and fourth and find the answer. Okay, so using the formula a cube minus b cube, let's solve the first one, 67 cube minus 66 cube, and a minus b whole cube plus 3ab into a minus b. So a minus b is 67 minus 66, which is 1. 1 whole cube is 1, plus 3ab, 3 into 67 into 66, into a minus b is 1. So when we solve this, the answer is 13267. So this is how we can solve using this particular formula. It becomes easy to find the answer of a cube minus b cube. Now let's try to solve the third one. 67 square minus 66 square, a minus b into a plus b. A minus b is 1, a plus b is 133. So 133 into 1 is 133. So using the a cube minus b cube and a square minus b square, we can find the second and fourth as well. And once we have all four values, you can compare and give the answer which of the following is greatest. Okay, so this is how we complete our last question as well of this chapter. So this chapter ends here. If you have any question, any doubt on this particular question, if you have any clarification required, any additional question which you're solving and you're unable to solve, feel free to post in the description and I'll respond on that. Thank you very much.